Yeah.
Tell everybody who you are and about your poem.
Hi, I'm Christina Beck, and I'm here with Susana to talk about my latest feature film, Hancock Park. Hancock Park, I said there. Hancock Park is a dark-hearted, emotionally driven thriller about a woman of a certain age in Los Angeles, California. She's an actress and she's kind of aged out of the roles that she once thought she was right for. And she's in a little bit of a desperate situation. So she goes to stay with her younger sister, and her younger sister is married to a out of work stepman husband, and our protagonist, Ruby, tells a few little fibs to sort of get her needs met. And as the weekend goes on, a lot of different things ensue. And as I mentioned to you before, it's the premise is loosely based on Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire. So, being that it's a present day film and women that get compromised out of just different circumstances, I really didn't want our Blanche Dubois character to end up in an asylum. So Ruby ends up in
She's not Stella.
no, she's not Stella. No,
No, is it actually it's the sister who was Stella, right?
sisters.
See, even we use the word Stella.
No, we don't use any of those characters' names.
No, I can't, right?
Well, again, it's loosely based. It was an idea. My friend and I, we were looking around for different ideas and to tell a story about, again, a woman of a certain age who feels very thrown away by society. And what happens to those ladies, And back in the day of streetcar, they were alcoholics and thrown away in insane asylums and threatened and very, very vulnerable. And this character is also vulnerable, but she does not end up in an asylum. She takes matters into her own hands and takes care of herself.
I've had a really great time talking to a lot of women filmmakers lately, which is really exciting to me. I love that we're coming up with women's stories. Were you an actress?
I am an actress.
You are an actress.
Yeah, I star in the film.
You star in the film as well. Okay. And I think we're probably similar in age. In fact, you probably heard what I heard, which was women don't come to movies. That's why all the movies are about men and the men are in the leads. And that's why we can't have the women as leads because those movies won't make any money. Did you hear that too?
Well, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Let's put it that way. I in LA, I teach filmmaking and I also teach film history. And a lot of people are not aware that some of the very first filmmakers were actually women. And in Hollywood, in the silent film era, all of the screenwriters were women. They were the highest paid writers in the film industry. A woman named Lois Weber wrote, directed, and acted in all her films. She, again, she was the highest paid director in the film industry, the first woman to be in the DGA, the Directors Guild. And so all of that information was kind of written out of history. And as we kind of keep going on, there's this sort of moving forward and stepping back and moving forward and stepping back. And the truth is, as we know, women love movies. Women go to movies probably more than men. And this old idea that it's only males 18 to 25 that are, showing up in the movie theaters is just not true. But all that to say, I think it's just more important to keep telling our stories. Hey. And, as an independent filmmaker, those are the kind of stories that I'm drawn to. Those are the movies that I love, and they're the movies that I want to make.
How long were you guys in production for this movie?
Well, this movie was kind of quick compared to my last one. So by the time I wrote the script and got my producer, Kim Edelman, on board, we started crowdfunding. This is a micro budget film. So I had other ideas and different films I wanted to make for, I guess, about a good decade after my first feature. And what a lot of people aren't aware of is that it's really difficult to get a second feature made for a woman. And even though there's a lot of talk about, like, you know, honoring women filmmakers and stuff, it's still,
This is still a long way to go, honestly.
well, a long way to go, and things, yeah, things still need to change in that area. But all that to say, I have a wonderful producer, and we just put our heads together. And the way I wrote the script is that I could shoot it with very minimal locations. And, you know, the thing that's hard about it is that I would love to be able to pay people, which is something that you really can't do when you're making an independent film like this. So everyone is working literally for the love of the work. And I have wonderful actors, an incredible crew, and post-production people that are just like super talented and generous. And my hope is that in my next film, I will have the budget to actually pay everybody, including myself. But yeah, we'll see.
Was it so? You said the second film was harder to get going? Is it because or it's a person filmmaker or a woman filmmaker or just
Yeah, all the things. It's just it's hard to get funding.
yeah?
Like in the US, we don't have any structures in place that actually fund films. Like in Europe and other countries, they have film funds, which are not easy to get. I've talked to other filmmakers all over the world, and it's always our stories. We're trying to get the money to make stuff. But the good news is that if you have a story to tell and you have people that are excited to tell that story with you, it can happen. So this film, we shot on the weekends for about 6 weeks. So we had a 14-day shoot. And then our post-production went through the fall. And so all in all, it was about nine to 12 months till our completed film, which is pretty normal and actually quite good for an indie film.
Pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah.
So the times when you thought, "What the heck have I done? Why am I in this? I'm too far in to stop, but I don't want to go on." How did you get past those moments?
Well, honestly, because I have other people involved, it's not just about me. It's not about me at all, really. The people, like I mentioned, super talented actors and crew members and post production people. And, they gave their time and energy and love and support. And I had to see it through for them, because it's just not, it's, that's the integrity of what I think independent filmmaking is really about, is that we do it together. It's a community of people, and it isn't just one person.
Yeah, the collaborative. There's not many things like the collaborative energy of a film set. It is intoxicating. It is a amazing drug high when it's working. Yeah. And when it's not, it's still really generally pretty fun.
Well, it's dramatic and traumatic, but yes, that's it. I teach filmmaking in LA, and so I tell my film students all the time, filmmaking is problem solving, basically. You get a story, you get a script, you get people together, you do all the planning that you can, and then things are gonna happen. Always things are gonna happen beyond your control. And then it's like, okay, troubleshoot. How do I get to the next place? When you have a goal in mind, and to speak to that last question, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is about seeing something through to the end. And yes, there are some dark nights of the soul, but it's, for other people and for everyone involved, I think it's important to see things through and also to share it with an audience, which is the whole point.
Yeah. I want to share your story.
Yep. Yep.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Tell everybody again who you are and the name of your film.
Yes, my name is Christina Beck, and the film is called Hancock Park. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah, nice to meet
It's
you.
great to meet you. Thank you.